welcome back to my video. I'm Jamila and this is Jamila Creates. So I know that I had been talking about my purses, but this is not the video. This is more expanding on my fall winter collection, which I do realize it's fall now, and fashion shows have already happened, but I own my own brand, so I can do mine whenever I want, as long as it's still, generally in the season. Also, a lot of these pieces are modular, which will help. And I live in Georgia, so it's not like super cold weather wear anyway. So now I want to show you my sketching process. I didn't take any video of me sketching, but Procreate records that, so I'm just going to voice over what I have. I didn't get everything, but I hope it's a good jumping off point. I've been using Procreate for about a month now. I really like it. It's pretty similar to Photoshop once you get used to it. It's the whole drawing on a tablet thing that's new to me, but I wanted to show y'all what I have on my line so far, and the next video is probably going to be about charms and charm kits, since I'm gearing that up as we speak to have that be the next thing I record right now. But after that, we're going to see some more sewing tutorials. I know that I've been lacking on that recently with learning all this software and stuff, but hopefully we should see my patterns being printed out and sewn pretty soon, because some of them are already made in the software as well. And I'm not going to show y'all me doing Clo 3D again, because I've posted a video on that already. So thanks for watching, and let's get to it. Alright, so I'm going to start off with the gecko. You can see Procreate takes these videos, so I'm just showing you what's there, but I start off with a reference of a photo of a gecko, and I just traced it. Black and white didn't really work for me because I couldn't see what I was doing with either, so I used hot pink, and you'll see me do that with a few of these. And then I just colored it in by color blocking and then filling, and I went over it with different colors, and you'll see me use this for the pattern. Speaking of the pattern that I used this gecko for, right here I'm just trying to do a stripe, kind of inspired by one of the designs that I had in my research. And you can see that I'm taking the gecko I made earlier and I'm tracing it and kind of recoloring it to make the color scheme work with my design process and what I had in mind. At first it came out this yellowish color and I really didn't like it, so I ended up changing this to a blue, but like a different blue that doesn't include the green. The green doesn't really work with my boards and what I'm doing. Alright, so these are how I did all my embroideries. I'm getting to the clothing. I just wanted to do the little details like the prints and embroidery first. So this is my first one, which is the moth. I drew that much like how I drew the gecko. I don't have the video for it, but it was the same basic concept where I traced and then just outlined and played with all the colors and fills. So now I'm trying to fill it in a way that includes stitches to make it look like it's stitched. The idea is that it is fabric with stitches in between, and that's the idea with the gecko embroidery that I'm going to do too, but the last one, the moth, is going to be the second moth is going to be a little different. So I'm adding fabric textures and sewing textures into this moth. for this second moth, I decided to try to make a metallic thread. That didn't work out the way I wanted to, so I had to really experiment and actually just make the thread as like its own solid fabric kind of, and then just carve into it with the eraser. Well, actually with a mask, I used masking. But you'll see me do that later. That's why this video part is going to be so long, is because I really struggled with how to get the embroidery on this looking just right, because I kind of decided when I was doing this moth in particular, I was like, the other one and the gecko are cool with the fabric being sewn onto it, and it's like you're using your scraps, but I want this to be, this design in particular, to be like pure embroidery. So I had to like color in and then cut out. So onto the outfits, a few of these have like several designs kind of smushed into one video. That's because I kind of copy and pasted. So this one I'll have to like cut out of several of these other ones, but I'm gonna keep it in here. You can see that I'm drawing my plastic bag belt, and I'm taking that pattern that that you saw me make early before, and I'm doing some color changes just to see what you can see fabric texture through. But I'm also just taking piece by piece, so I'm duplicating it a lot, and I'm warping it to go with the flow of the fabric. So you see how I had it, it's not like a straight line anymore, it's like moving in different directions. You can see the lines on the pattern are like moving around. That's because I warped it. This is just me cleaning up. Sometimes with some of these mannequins, I drew them myself, but I didn't record the process of drawing them. Sometimes you gotta take the hands and like copy them to a new layer and place that layer over the clothing so that the clothing doesn't like clip through the hands in a weird way. And that's just me carving out and warping the other pieces, and you can see me going over that. Doing shadows as well is important, and that like requires a lot of blend modes, and that was the end of that, although I did come back later and put a jacket on it, so I'll probably show you that in a little bit. So this is the jumpsuit that we're working on now, and again I copy and pasted a bunch of these designs like over and over again, so that and then just went by and changed them so that I didn't have to change up the mannequin too much. And you can see I'm using another pattern, another couple of patterns. Those are actually fabrics that I already have laying around, and so I'm using that. I'm just changing it up just a little bit here. So you can see that that's one outfit, and then I'm trying to put a t-shirt underneath it. I had originally had some kind of long sleeve shirt, but I didn't like it as much, and then I changed the fabric for the pockets. And the idea there is I'm going to put some embroidery on it, but the jacket in this sketch kind of covers it up, so that will be more visible on my final board presentation. So now we're going back to the sketch from earlier, and I'm just putting a little jacket on it. The idea with this jacket is that I have these little 3D printed moth things that I want to put all around the hem of it and just kind of hang it. And I also want to use 3D closures instead of the buttons that it came with. So you can see me sketching those onto it as well. And that will be the design for the jacket. I also decided to winterize these outfits by putting little leg warmers and tights on there as well. So I'm just kind of taking the texture of tights and putting it on there, and then leg warmers. Just kind of a big socky blob there. This is another one where I have several iterations of outfits because I copy and pasted, and some of the files didn't save as in Procreate as videos. So this one, the idea with the top is that it's kind of like a sweater, and that middle piece is from a jacket that my grandma gave me, and the sweater my grandma gave me too, but I have yet to dye it black because it's bright green right now. But I can show you all the references in my presentation later. So this is when I have a dark color, I tend to try to do the outlines and make the outlines in white, and then do a blend mode to make that a little less harsh so that you can really see. And you can see for the jeans, they're supposed to be like skinny jeans that were upcycled into flare leg, and that fabric on the side is a zebra print. Alright, so here's another idea that I had, and this is just based off of some fabric that I had for the collection that I thought would really work with this theme, and that was just kind of zigzag chevron pattern. And I decided I wanted to make this tank top for it, and there's also a outfit with a skirt that I really loved but did not manage to get in a recording, so I'm really bummed about it. But I'll show you my presentation at the end and you can see all the sketches. So that was the skirt, and then this is a maxi skirt that's kind of like a cargo skirt but in a bright yellow, so that's fun. Actually, it's also a bright yellow. It's kind of between mustard and daffodil. It's not really quite that dark enough to be mustard, but it's a really pretty shade of yellow, so that was the thought process there. And the jacket I'm going to put on top of it would be painted with daisies and painted white, so you'll see that at the end of this. going back to this other design, what I ended up doing at the end was putting a jacket on it, because I designed all these without the jackets first, make sure that they worked and were cohesive modularly. But then I decided to put a upcycled blanket jacket over the top of it, and it's just this cool yellow blanket that I found that I thought would make a really cool sweater. So it's like a maxi size sweater to go everything, just really gives 70s, go over everything, just really gives 70s, and I just really like it. So had to play with transparency a bit there too, and had to play with texture as well, but I think I got it down pretty nicely. And I'm excited for the design here. Alright, so this one I was really excited about. This vest I already have made in patterns. That doesn't mean that I had to use it, but I thought vests would really fit with the theme well, and that fabric I found, so that was cool. And this is me drawing out my little 3D printed component, and I'll show you that at the end of the video. And the idea of the skirt is that it's upcycled from a poncho, like a gray fabric poncho, and a pair of jeans. So there's kind of like a frayed edge, and then the poncho, what was the poncho sticks out. And of course I had to winterize this design too with some leg warmers. I ended up making the leg warmers and the turtleneck that she's layering under everything, because it is winter, and if you were just wearing a vest, it would be very cold. I ended up making the turtleneck and the leg warmers match. I started the turtleneck in like a gold color, or a mustardy yellow color, but then I decided that pink and pink leg warmers just fit the outfit aesthetic a lot better. So we are about at the end here. We have 2 more looks that I managed to record. I'm really bummed about the ones that didn't get recorded, but the idea of this look was I had a few references that I wanted to use, like that top you saw me make earlier. I think making this top out of that one would be really cool, would really fit the aesthetic well. And you can see that I did cargo pants this time, and that same yellow fabric, and I'm just tracing out the jacket that I thrifted. It's a white denim jacket, and I decided to put little embroidered elements of the designs I already made all over it, and you saw me draw out the embroidery. It's also on each design's page. So we have that one. And then this last one is that 2-piece set that's kind of a houndstooth. So I had to make houndstooth and then import it and then warp it and change it around. And then it's got kind of a mesh hem at the end, and more of that fabric from the vest. I want to include some of those elements again. And I'm just outlining things now so that I can make an under shirt. Sorry, I got interrupted. So the outfit here is just that set plus a shirt under it so that you wouldn't be too cold wearing it. I was thinking about making the shirt a little bit longer so it's not a belly shirt, but I didn't.